Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Shali Sadri wa Yassirli Amri wa Lugdata min Lisani Qawli Rabbi Zadirma. How is everyone? Okay, as per our promise, we are starting our first lesson of the past papers of AS level. The paper that we are solving today is paper 1, Theory Fundamentals, and this is the specimen paper that was introduced for the students who are appearing in 2021. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 30 minutes. You have to answer all the question paper. No additional materials are needed. Instructions. You have to answer all the questions. You have to use a black or dark blue pen. Write your name, center number, and candidate number in the given boxes at the top of the page. You have to write your answer in the given space. Do not use an erasable pen or question fluid at all. Do not write on any barcodes. You may use an ivory pencil in case of drawing any diagrams, graphs, or rough working. Calculators must not be used in this paper. The total marks for this paper is 75 and the number of marks are given in the brackets. There's no mark awarded in case of using the brand name. So please refrain from using the brand names. Now, question number 1. State one difference between a kibibyte and a kilobyte. So it's a 1 mark question. What student can write is, you can say kibibyte is 1024 bytes while kilobyte is 1000 bytes. Or a student can say kibibyte has a binary prefix while kilobyte has a denary prefix. Like you know that kilo is basically in the powers of 10 and kibi is in the powers of 2 to the power in this manner. That is why this is going to be accepted as a right answer. So out of these two, a student can write any and he will be able to score 1 mark. Part B, give the number of bytes in a megabyte, and a student can say 10485766 if he remembers, or if he says 1024 into 1024, that is also correct. Or if he says 2 to the power 10 into 2 to the power 10, that is also correct. So in this manner, you will be able to score 1 out of 1 because you have answered the question accurately. Part C, complete the following binary addition, show your working. So here you can see this is my binary value 1001 1010, and the second value is 11110111. So starting from the right hand side, remember LSB 0 plus 1 or 1, 1 plus 1 0 with a carry of 1, 1 0 and 1 means 0 with a carry of 1. 1 plus 1 plus 0 will be 0 with a carry of 1. 1, 1, 1. Now we have 3 ones. 1 with a carry of 1. 1 plus 1, 0 with a carry of 1. 1 plus 1, 0 with a carry of 1. And then we have 3 ones. That means it will be 1, 1. Now you can see the two values that we had 8 bits in each, was a complete byte. But the answer that you have obtained is occupying 9 bits. So you can see 1000 is one nibble and 1001 is another nibble, and your answer is coming in the 9 bit. So that is why a continuity is in this question here is, describe the error that occurred when you added the binary numbers in part C1. So here you can see what is they have asked us. You can say simple overflow error. And since the number of bits are going beyond the 8 bits capacity, then that is resulting in an overflow error. So you can simply write down explanation in your own words, and definitely the answer is not going to be represented in this way, and that is resulting in an overflow error. So that was a 2 mark question. So if a student has answered it accurately, writing down the reason, then he will be able to score easily 2 out of 2. I hope that there's no query. That was part B. D, complete the binary subtraction, show your working. Now the question was 0110 0111, and the next value was, this second byte was 0011 0010. So we started from this point, like the LSB, 1 minus 0, 1, so simple. 1 minus 1, a 0, 1 minus 0, a 1, and 0 minus 0, a 0. So the first nibble is not at all difficult, so we can actually do it accurately. Now moving to this one. Now the above value is 0 and the lower value is 1. So we cannot subtract from 0 a value of 1. So what is done? We have borrowed. from the neighbor, like the adjacent bit, and the adjacent bit was a 1. So it gave its 1 and became a 0. So you can see this is how it is being represented, that this 0 is indicating that when 0 on the, like 0 of the 5th bit was needing subtraction to be done, it did not have the required value, so it borrowed from the adjacent 6th bit. 6th bit gave a value and it became a 0, and it made this 0 a 1 0, or you can say in other words a 2. Like just remember that this 1 0 means, you can simply say call it a 1 or a 2 also. Now this is 2 minus 1, or 1 0 minus 1 will be giving you a value of 1. So if you recall, we have learned it that 2 minus, now I think we can, like if you just remember, this actually is denoting a 2. So you can just simply say, because 1 0 means a 2. So this is denoting a 2. So 2 minus 1 will be a 1. And then this was cut and it became a 0. And then it was in need of a value. So it borrowed a 1 from here. And this is how, although it gave, but then it became a 2 once again, because it has borrowed from its adjacent neighbor. And when its adjacent neighbor gave its 1, it became a 0. And this became a 2. So 2 minus 1 is a 1. I hope that that is clear. This whole nibble was very simple. Like I hope that we all have understood this very easily. But this one is needing a little bit of explanation. So that is why I'm explaining again. 0 minus 1 was not possible. So we borrowed 1 from here. It became 10 or 2. 2 minus 1 was a 1. This gave itself, so it became a 0. Now 0 minus 1 was not possible. So it also borrowed from its adjacent neighbor. And it became a 1 0. And this became a 0. So 2 or 1 0 means it's the same. So 2 minus 1 is a 1. So 0 minus 0 is a 0 and 0 minus 0 is a 0. So your final answer will be 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1. So if you have performed the accurate subtraction, you have done everything accurately, then definitely you will be scoring 2 out of 2 very easily. Any questions? Yes, are we clear? Okay, maybe move ahead. Okay, now let's move to the next part, next question. Question number 2. Violet runs a company that books walking holidays for groups of people. She has a website that customers use to book the holidays. The website has a URL and an IPv6 address. Describe using an example the format of an IPv6 address. Now they're asking you to describe using an example. So for that, you need to know the example for the IPv6 address. So it was a 4-mark question, meaning that they were expecting you to write 4 valid points. So if you remember, IPv6 is basically a hex value. So it's a set of 8 numbers, as you can see in the example. Each number is 4 hexadecimal digits. Now this is going to be your hexadecimal digits, which are separated by colons. So in this manner, if you have mentioned the first point, like it's basically a set of 8 numbers, you have mentioned it's composed of 4 hexadecimal digits and separated by colons, which is like this one. An example, any valid example will do. Like if you have mentioned 1 to F3, just an example. But remember, hexadecimal is starting from 0 to 9, the normal numbers, and then it is A, B, C, D, E, F. So this is what you need to remember. And another caution is, when you are writing zeros, then they should now like be like this. Like 0 compression is possible, yes, exactly. But this is a valid address. You have mentioned 1, 2, F3, the first group, then colon sign, the second group 2, 3, 5, 6. The third group AB12, the fourth group is 2015, the fifth group is 0000, the sixth one is another set of zeros, seventh one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one, eighth group is 5, 1, 2, 3. Just an example. I've told you that you can quote any example, but remember, separated by colons, value should be a hex value, means cannot go beyond F for the letters 0 to 9 and A to F. And it should be like composed of 4 hexadecimal digits. I hope that is an easy question. If you have done it, then we can recall very easily. Now the next part, here part B. Question number 2, part B. An IP address can be static or dynamic. Describe static and dynamic IP addresses. So it was a 4-mark question, means I was expected to write 2 bullet points for static IP address and 2 bullet points for dynamic IP address. So what is static IP? And if you remember, the IP that is remaining constant, that never changes. When a computer is connected, when a computer is connected to the network, when a computer or that is going to be assigned a dynamic IP by your DNS. By your DNS, am I right? By your DHCP, that's correct, Adi. So like that is what you can recall. The dynamic IPs are assigned by a DHCP server for the moment when you are connected to the network, and the moment you log off, then that becomes available. And when you reconnect, when you rejoin the network, then you might be assigned a new IP address, and that is the dynamic IP address. So let's see what are we expected to write to gain 2 out of 2 in static and 2 out of 2 in dynamic. So when a computer disconnects and rejoins the network, the address does not change, and this is assigned by the server or the ISP. So when you talk about the static IP addresses, they never change no matter where you have rejoined or you are connected, or you have disconnected and you have rejoined. So the same IP address will be assigned to you, and that is a static IP. And dynamic IP, as we have talked about, is going to be each time the computer rejoins a network, the address is going to be changed because it is assigned by the network operating system. When you talk about the normal, and what we have studied also, that was with respect to DHCP. So that is also something that you have to remember. Now, part C. The company has a LAN local area network that has hybrid topology. Describe the characteristics of a LAN, and it's a 2-mark question. So you remember, devices are connected over a small geographic area, and it is using dedicated infrastructure, or it's using the company-owned infrastructure. It is not using anything from outside. It's simply using whatever is available in the company. Now, part 2, the LAN has a range of different topologies. One subnetwork connects 4 computers and 1 server set up as a star topology. Describe how packets are transmitted between 2 of the computers in this subnetwork. Now, here the question is dealing with packets transmission. So here you can see packets. It's a 3-mark question. So what am I supposed to write here? So you remember that the packet is composed of a few components that you remember: a header, a payload, and a trailer. And the packet header is contained the other IP address of the sender and the receiver, and it will be the packet has address of the recipient. So who is the receiver of the packet? So its IP address is a part of the packet. The sender transmits packets directly to the server. The server reads, addresses, and identifies where the recipient is. Server transmits packets directly to the receiver, and server transmits packets only to the recipient. So this is going to be the case in your local area network. So when the receiver receiver IP address is mentioned, so definitely the packets are going to reach the destination in this order. So they will be transmitted from the sender's end, they will be received, and they will be sent to the server, and the server is going to redirect them to the actual recipient. So in this manner, the whole transmission will take place. Part D. The LAN has both wired and wireless connections. Ethernet cables connect the computers to the server. Now, wireless and wired, both connections are there. Identify 3 other hardware components that might be used to set up the LAN. So along with what we need, so you can see here, they talked about cables. So along with cables, what else is needed? What else are the hardware components that can be used to set up the LAN? So NIC or network interface card, you can say WNIC also, a student can write. WAP, wireless access point, a hub, a switch, a router, a bridge, a repeater, or a modem. So a student can write any of these three, hardware components in any order, and he will be able to score 3 out of 3. Part D2. Describe how carriers sense multiple access collision detection, or CSMA manages collisions during data transmission. So it's a 3-mark question. So it means that they want me to write 3 valid points. So if you remember what happens in CSMA, so workstations are going to listen to the communication channel. So this is very important. The word listen is indicating the whole process. So first thing is it's listening. It's listening to the communication channel. If no data is being transmitted, the computer can send the data. Like if your computer has senses the cable, has sends a carrier or the cable, and it found no one is transmitting the data. So definitely it can start sending the data. Collision caused when two devices transmit at the same time. It may happen that when the computer listened to the channel, listened to the cable, it was empty, no signal. But at that moment, some other device also started transmission, because it also sent the cable. It also found the cable to be empty. So definitely in this case, a collision may occur. And in this case, each workstation is going to wait for a random time period. And before retransmitting is going to be done. And each time a collision occurred, it has to, random time period is going to be increased, so that it's not going to result in constant collision of the data. So this is how the whole process in Ethernet is handled, so that still the data will be sent by the sender to the receiver, even if it's sensed at the same time by 2 or more computer systems. And this is how they are going to wait for a random time period, and only then they will start their communication. Question number 3. Mehrdad has a holiday company-based database that includes data about holidays such as location, date, duration in days, data about customer and the holidays they have booked. Mehrdad has normalized the database, which has 3 tables. Draw an ER diagram or ERD for the normalized data, for the normalized tables. So here you can see from here what we derived. There's one by the name. Now, if you just start from here, one table that we found was holidays. So this is my first table. Second one is the data about the customer. So this is my next entity, and the holidays they have booked. So this is my third entity. So now in this manner, what you will do is from here you will derive, although it is not mentioned, this is how you will data about holidays such as location, date, time, date, duration. That is a part. Then data about the customers and the holidays they have booked. So I've taken another one, that is booking. In this manner, you can see 3 suitable names. Like it's going to be a 3-mark question if you have answered accurately by mentioning 3 suitable names, and then the relationships. So first one is your customer, as we have obtained from here. Second one is holiday, and third one is booking. Now, one thing that we have to be cautious about, one customer can have many bookings. That's why the relationship between customer and booking is 1 to many. You can see here, it's 1 to many. And similarly, one holiday can have many bookings. It's possible that one holiday can have many bookings, like talking about any place that you are planning to visit. So that is going to be a holiday. And you are not the only one who is booking. Apart from you, other people have also booked the same place. So that is why, again, a holiday and booking is also going to have a 1 to many relationship. So the 3 tables, customer, holiday, booking is going to be in the middle. And this is how, like, there were 3 boxes. We had to fill in those boxes with the right entities first, and then we were supposed to draw the ERD, the entity relationship diagram, for the normalized table. I think it's simple. A 3-mark question is not difficult to be gained right now, isn't it? Okay, now let's move to the next part of the question. Question number 3, part A done. Now question number 3, A2. Complete the table to identify the primary key and foreign keys for each of the tables you identified in part A1. If the table has no foreign keys, write none. So I was told, what am I supposed to do? So this is what The three tables, customer, booking, holiday, this has to come in the same manner as we have written, in the same manner, like no change in the table names. Primary key for customer will be customer ID and there is no foreign key. And since booking is actually a linked table, if you remember the table that is in between, that is why we need to have one primary key for this also. And it has a customer ID and holiday ID. So holiday has a holiday ID as a primary key and none of the foreign keys. But booking table will have booking ID of its own as a primary key, and it will have a customer ID linking with the customer table and a holiday ID as to link with the holiday table as the foreign keys. That's why they are mentioned here. None foreign key for customer table, none foreign key for holiday table, but customer ID and holiday ID are going to link the booking table with the respective customer and holiday tables. So I think it's simple, not difficult, and we can obtain 3 out of 3 very easily. Explain why the holiday database is in 3NF, third normal form. So why it's so? Now you can see here, first thing is, if you remember, there is no many-to-many relationship. So since there is no many-to-many relationship, we have used a table in between. This is only there are only two one-to-many relationships. That's why it is in 3NF. And all fields in each table are fully dependent on the primary keys for each table. So that is another thing that you can mention. And there's first thing is there's no many-to-many relationship existing, or you can say there are only two one-to-many relationships existing in my ERD. And secondly, all fields in each table are fully dependent on the primary keys for each table. So in this manner, you will be able to score 2 out of 2 marks if you have mentioned the descriptions, if you have described the reason properly. Now, part B. The holiday company has several members of staff. The database has 2 additional tables to store data about the staff. And which are those? Like this is the holiday company, any company which is dealing with these holidays. This is dealing with 2 additional tables. One is staff, and here you can see staff ID, first name, second name, date of birth, role, and salary. These are the fields of your staff table, and this staff ID is your primary key. That's great. Another table by the name schedule is here, and it has schedule ID as well as staff ID, which is going to link it with this table. Work date, morning, afternoon. So the following table shows some sample data from the table schedule. So here you can see the table schedule has the fields schedule ID, staff ID, work date, morning, afternoon. These are your fields, and the schedule ID is here. The staff ID is mentioned here. You can see it as duplicated definitely because schedule ID is going to be for a staff. Its work date, like which day of the work is he working. Morning, afternoon, both are true for this schedule ID and this person. And another staff ID JB has this schedule ID with this data item, true or false for afternoon, true for morning, false for afternoon, 220520 and -1. BC is the staff ID in here, 22520, false for the morning slot and true for the afternoon slot. And another one, 220520-2 is assigned to staff ID with LK, and it's on 22nd of May 2020, and for him, morning is true and afternoon is false. Write an SQL script to display the first name and second name of all staff members working on 22nd, 22/5/2020. So this is my requirement. So I am supposed to write this, and you can see here it is going to give you 1 mark per bullet. And what is it? Selecting first name and second name from the staff table and the schedule table whenever needed. You have to join the tables by using inner join, or you can use and statement also. And you have to write the condition with the where clause. So just an example, select staff.first name, since you were supposed to obtain the first name and the second name from the staff table. That's why you needed to mention staff.first name, comma, staff.second name. From staff comma schedule. So since one table is your staff table from where the data is obtained, and second one is your schedule table, which is actually containing the staff ID as the linking field, or you can say here staff ID is the foreign key, and in the staff table the staff ID was a primary key. So that is why where, and what is the condition? Where schedule dot work date. Now since the work date field is in schedule table, that's why we mentioned where schedule dot work date equals to 22/05/2020 within quotations, and schedule dot staff ID equals to staff dot staff ID. And this will be actually creating a link between the two tables, or this is going to work as a joining value. So either a student says joining tables by using inner join, that's perfectly okay. Or if you're not comfortable, you can simply be cautious and use and also to link the two tables, but be cautious. Schedule the staff ID. In the schedule table, the staff ID is there. And along with this, it is present in the staff table also. In this table, it is working as a foreign key, and in this table, it's working as a primary key. So this is how it will be linking the two tables, and you will be scoring marks for each and every line that you have mentioned accurately. Like if you have mentioned the, but accuracy, please be cautious. Accurately writing the select statement is very, very important. Okay, part 2. Any questions? Now, write an SQL script to count the number of people working on the morning of 26/5/2020. Now, this is what is the next thing. 26/5/2020 is going to be the situation, and I'm simply supposed to write the condition, that's all. SQL script to count the number of people. Now here you can see the use of some function. Select count of staff ID. Like we were supposed to count the number of people, and number of people are going to be judged through staff ID. So select count staff ID from schedule where work date equals to 26/5/2020 and morning was so true. So there were two conditions: working on the morning, off. It means working on the morning was condition number 1, and condition number 2 was the date when he was working. So that is why the where clause will have two conditions: the first one for work date and the second one for the morning was true. So select count staff ID from schedule where work date equals to 26/5/2020 and morning was so true. And be cautious the use of capital letters for the keywords like select count, from, the table name, schedule, then where, and the and. So where and the definitely the true also. So wherever something is supposed to be written the way it is here, you have to be very cautious and do it that way. And that will give you 3 out of 3. Question number 4. A cake factory uses machines to make cakes. Complete the following description of types of system. Write the correct missing term in the spaces. Now you can see a number of spaces are given to us. The factory uses a blank system to record each. The factory uses a blank system to record data such as the number of cakes being produced each hour. When the data collected from sensors are analyzed and used as dash, it is a dash system. One example of this system used in the factory is to maintain a constant temperature in the ovens. It uses a dash to measure the values. Now this is your 4-mark question, having 4 blanks, and you are supposed to fill in those blanks. Can you do it? See, the first one is the factory uses a monitoring system since it is there to record the data. So keeping a record, that is going to be a monitoring system, such as the number of cakes being produced each hour. When the data collected from the sensors are analyzed and used as feedback, it is a control system. So when you are collecting the data, we are collecting the data from the sensors and you are analyzing it and using it as a feedback, then that is going to form a control system. One example of the system used in the factories to maintain a constant temperature in the ovens, it uses a dash. It uses a temperature sensor to measure the values. So if you have mentioned these values accurately, 4 marks are going to be yours. Now, part B. Cake mixture is mixed in a large pot. A conveyor belt moves the cake tins beneath the pot. The conveyor belt stops and a set quantity of the cake mixture fills the cake tin. The conveyor belt then moves and another cake tin is positioned beneath the top. So this is something that some of you might have studied something to this one in your O-levels paper also. So that is something similar. So here you can see the example of a control system, because it is an automatic filling of the cake mixture in the pots. Explained how the control system will ensure the correct amount of mixture is placed in the cake tins. Now, in the cake tins. So it's a 5-mark question. What are they expecting me to write? So if you remember, first one is the use of sensors. The sensors are going to read the values repeatedly. They're going to send the digitized data to the microprocessor, and the microprocessor will make the decision of either continuing the process or stopping it based on the value that are being produced and sent to it. And it will be constantly taking the input and comparing the readings with the preset value. So let's see what they are expecting us to write. This is what you already know, you have already studied in AS as well as in your O-levels, IDCSE also. So when the infrared or the pressure sensor is detecting the tin is in the correct place, so it is going to send a message to the microprocessor. And this microprocessor is going to send a signal to an actuator to stop the conveyor belt. Now, definitely, if the pot has been to the right position, now the conveyor belt has to stop, because now it has to start filling the tin. So in that case, a message will be sent so that it will be sending a message to the signal to the actuator to stop the conveyor belt, and sends another signal to sends another signal to another actuator to release the cake mixture. See, here there are two actuators. One is there to stop the conveyor belt, and another one is there to start the cake mixture being start filling the tin. A pressure sensor continuously records the weight of the cake mixture in the tin and sends the readings to microprocessor. Now, this is a continuous process. The pressure sensor is there to keep on checking that how much weight is there for the cake mixture. The microprocessor compares the readings with the preset value, like for example, if it's a 1 pound cake, just an example. So as soon as it has reached that 1 pound level, so what will happen then? When the weight of the cake mixture is matching with the desired weight, the microprocessor sends a signal to the actuator to stop releasing the mixture and sends another signal to another actuator to move the conveyor belt. So just see from this example, this is the diagram to make you like analyze, imagine that how this is going to happen. So now, right now, this mixture is filling this tin. So once it has been filled to the desired level, then definitely this tin has to move forward and another tin is supposed to come in its place. So this is why one actuator will be there to move the conveyor belt and another actuator is going to be there to release the cake mixture or stop releasing the cake mixture. So this is what you need to just understand yourself looking at the diagram. So this is why the diagram is given to us to comprehend the whole working, spend time on it in comprehending, and only then if start answering, and inshallah your answers will be accurate and you will be definitely scoring the marks. Now, the cake factory has servers that store its confidential recipes and control the factory machines. Describe the implications of a hacker gaining access to the cake's factory's servers. Now, this is what they have a secret recipe, and they don't want the recipes to be available to everyone. But the implications of a hacker getting access. So what will happen then? Once the hacker gains access, then what will happen? He can access the confidential data and can sell the recipes to maybe some other competitors. And in this manner, the company is going to lose the money. And it can access the commands for the machines, can stop the machines working also, can change what the machines are supposed to do. And in this case also, the company is going to lose the money. So in Either of the cases, see what are going to be the implications. A hacker can either steal the data, or a hacker can actually make the access the commands and can stop or do anything else with the mixture also. So these are the implications that a company might have to face in case of, God forbid, a hacker has accessed the secret recipes. Explain how the company could protect its data against hackers. See, again, so simple. Install and run firewall, and so that it will block the signals that do not meet the requirement. It will be definitely keeping the data up to date. Also, it will be keeping us up to date also in case some intruder is trying to access. Another option that we can use is we can have strong passwords so that no one can easily guess and intrude into our network. And a strong password is going to be definitely a very positive thing for the people. And like you can quote any example of a strong password. And additionally, other authentication is being required. For example, you can have a biometric system also. Another one can be a student can write encryption also, like if you're using encryption so that your recipes are not available to anyone without the decryption key. So that is also one option which you can apply. And in this manner, you can easily score 4 out of 4. You have mentioned the right points, you have written the right explanation, so definitely marks are going to be yours. RD, the machines have a counter to record the number of cake tins filled. Each time a cake tin is filled, the counter is increased by 1. The value is stored in an 8-bit register and the correct value is shown. So if you see this one, now what is this? Just recall, what is it? Now, show the value of, now this is your value. Show the value of the binary number after another 5 cake tins have been filled. Now, this is going to be machines have a counter to record the number of cake tins filled. Each time a cake tin is filled, the counter is increased by 1. The value is stored in an 8-bit register and the current value is shown. Now, this is your current value, which is going to be your 8 plus 1 is 9. Show the value of the binary number after another 5 cake tins have been filled. So after another 5 cake tins have been filled, what is going to be the next value here? Okay, now I think you can see, show the value of the binary number after another 5 cake tins have been filled. The final answer for this one will be 4 zeros and 1110. In this manner, you will score 1 out of 1. Now, question number D1, then part 1 is done and part 2. The following table shows some assembly language instructions for a processor which has one general purpose register, the accumulator or ACC. The instructions, as you can see here, and with a hash n, that is a bitwise and operation of the contents of ACC with the operand, and address is going to be bitwise and operation of the contents of ACC with the contents of address. XOR or XOR, hash n, bitwise XOR operation of the contents of ACC with the operand. XOR address is bitwise XOR operation of the contents of ACC with the contents of address. So in this manner, AND, OR, XOR, beside this LSL, LSR, the logical shift left, logical shift right are also mentioned for your reference. At the end of each day, the register is reset to 0. Write the assembly language statement to reset the register to 0. So since we want the register to be reset, and for that what we have learned is we are going to use the and hash 0. So this is going to actually make my contents of the entire register. You can see with this operand, if I am using operand here and hash and then 0, it means all the values will be multiplied or ANDed with 0, and your final answer will definitely be a 0, no matter even if the whole byte, if the whole register is containing all ones, still with ANDing of 0, the result will be a complete 0. A two-place logical shift to the left is performed on the binary number shown in part D. Show the result of this logical shift. So my question had the value here like this, the beginning, 4 zeros, 1 0 0 1. If two left shifts are being done, so the final answer, as was written here, is 0 0 1 0 0 1, and the empty spaces will be padded with zeros. So this is going to be your final answer. 0 the 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0, and in this manner you will score 1 out of 1. Part 4. State the mathematical result of a one-place logical shift to the right on a binary number. It's so simple. It is going to be the one possible. Now, just be careful. They are not asking for the left shift. Here, they have changed the question, and be very cautious. That's why we have to read the question with a lot of caution. State the mathematical result of a one-place logical shift to the right on a binary number. So they're only asking me to write the result, to write the result of this operation. It will be division by 2. One shift to the right means division by 2. Two shift to the right means division by 4. So this is what we have learned. Right shift means division and left shift means multiplication. Okay, so that is why we have to be very cautious with our answers. Part E. The factory servers run software that makes use of AI. Explain how the use of AI can help improve the safety and efficiency of the factory. So what are they expecting me to write in a 3-mark question? Machines can learn from past problems or mistakes, and they can adapt to this to stop the same problem occurring again. They can learn to predict what might happen and raise an alert. See, main thing about AI in this case is they will be learning and adapting to the new learning on their own. Machines can learn how to work more efficiently. When an action shows the system down, it can prevent this happening again. When an action increases the speed of the system, it can repeat this when necessary to improve the efficiency. So they are asking the use of AI to improve the safety and efficiency. So this is how you can write down the use of AI accurately, and you will be able to score 3 out of 3 here. Question number 5. Draw a logical circuit diagram for the logic expression. It is not A or B or C or B and C and D, and now this is going to be your main thing. Not A or B or C. Now not is going to be done later. First of all, you can see here A or B. This is your first one. And it is going to be ORed with the signal coming from C. So just be careful. Do not get confused that it has 4 signals. That's why I'm going to be confused. Just simply follow A or B. Do it first. A or B. Connect it with the OR gate. Connect this with the C. Like the second OR gate that is drawn is getting one signal coming from A or B and second signal from C. So here you can see this OR is going here, the result, and the C result is coming here, and the result is knotted because this is the NOT gate. Fine. So this is A or B or C. Then we have the NOT performed, and this NOT is going to the OR gate. The last OR gate is getting one signal coming from this end. And another signal that is going to the last OR gate is coming from B and C and D. So B, and again you can see B is ANDed with a signal. You can see that this is coming here. B is coming here to AND, then C and D is here. In this case, up to us. First of all, this AND gate is getting one signal coming from C and this signal coming from D, and the right result of this C and D is going to another AND gate, and the second AND gate is getting another signal coming from B. This loop is indicating that you are actually getting the signal repeated, like this is a loop indicating that it is cutting that is why we show it with the help of the loop, because it is showing the cut repetition also. It's cutting the signal coming from here. That's why the loop is being drawn. So this B and C and D, and the result of this is going to this OR gate, and your final answer is going to be this one. So if you have drawn each and everything accurately, then you will be scoring 4 out of 4. Now, part B. Complete the truth table for the logic expression x equals to A XOR B, or not A or B or C. And you can see here, this is my working to make you comprehend. A is or B. Now, in this case, we are only going to refer to these two. And we are solving this. It is A XOR B. This is my A XOR B. 0, 0, opposites are 0, 0, 0, opposites are 0, 0, 1. I'm sorry. 0, 0 is same as 0, 0, 0, same as 0, 0, 1, opposites are 1, 0, 1, opposites are 1, 1, 0, opposites are 1, 1, 0, opposites are 1, 1, 1, same as 0, 1, 1, same as 0. So in this manner, your answer for A XOR B will be this whole thing. Okay? Okay, fine. This is going to be your A XOR B. Okay, fine. We have got the answer for A XOR B here. Now the next one is my A or B or C. So here you can see A or B or C. So if any one signal is a 1, the result is a 1. So here you can see all three zeros, the result is a 0. And in all of the cases, you have at least a 1. So whenever there's an OR operation, OR gate, and even if one value is a 1, if one signal is a 1, if any one input is a 1, then the final result is a 1. So that is why you can see a 1 here, a 1 here, a 1 here, a 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Only in this case, the value is 0. And then we are performing the NOT, means the reverse of this whole. So here, your answer will be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. All the values will be noted, and this is your final answer. So this is how you will get the two operations, and then you will be performing the OR operation here. So OR means 0 or 1 a 1, 0 or 0 a 0, 1 or 0 a 1, 1 or 0 a 0, 1 or 0 a 1, 1 or 0 a 1, 0, 0 is a 0, and 0, 0 is a 0. So in this manner, if you have actually reused the working space properly, you have done this whole thing properly, then definitely your final answer will be accurate, and you can solve it in a very short span of time. And 4 marks are going to be yours. Hope that everything is very clear. Jazakallah khair Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Keep on watching the videos, keep on liking my videos, and you can watch a lot of stuff is available. You can watch that also and improve your learning, and share with your friends and family, and keep me in your prayers. May Allah bless you. Allah Hafiz.